MOM Radio and Pipe Bomb Radio present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars Oscar, Sir Mo, and Dreamy Mimi.
Welcome, everybody, to Not Your Mama's Radio Show. And here are your hosts, Oscar and Dreamy Mimi.
Hey.
How you doing, Felix?
Doing good. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. I'm just thinking about the things that they might be cooking for a big feast the next week. Actually, a week from tonight. Woohoo! All the good stuff. But then again, I come from a Mexican family too, so if we don't have turkey, we damn sure would have tamales or maybe pozole or all kinds of good stuff.
Okay.
Turkey tamales?
What's that?
Turkey tamales?
Hey, not a bad idea.
Turkey tostadas, turkey burritos, turkey tacos.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Sure, we got leftovers for days.
Oh, how you doing, Dreamy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I guess he was saying for them two to be married, they don't never seem to be nowhere together. Oh, man. How's your week, Felix?
It's been pretty eventful, pretty nice. We had a great conversation with Dr. Tom Pritchard on Tuesday night. Very, very informative man about many things he's seen and done in the business, and it was a lot of fun. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he continues to work, and that just goes to show you don't have to be in the WWE to have a full busy schedule. He'll be working. He's working a lot.
No, a lot of guys give him props today because a lot of independent guys will tell you that he gives one of the best wrestling schools. He's one of the best wrestling tutors out there.
Oh, absolutely. And let's welcome Mo. How you doing, Mo?
I'm all right, guys. How y'all?
All right.
How you?
Whole team is back together.
All right. Mo, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. How you?
All right. Call me after the show. Got to holler at you about a couple things.
Okie dokie. I'll do that.
Just a couple things, Oscar? Just a couple things?
Couple things.
Come again, say what?
Couple things. We begin tonight. Normally this is a wrestling-based podcast, radio show, whatever you want to call it. And we don't get into the parameters of what's going on in the world and news. I mean, we could, because there's a lot going on, and if we got to everything in the news, we'd be here until midnight every Thursday night. Matter of fact, we'd be on the radio every night, including Sunday. But so we normally keep it wrestling-based. But we're former WWE talent, and we basically stick to what we know, and our wrestling fans all over the world, so we can stick to wrestling, one thing. But every now and then, there are issues in the news that but if you have a public forum, you just can't ignore. You can't ignore it,
Yeah,
I hope we're talking about the Bill Cosby thing.
Pardon?
I was hoping you guys were talking about that Bill Cosby thing because that's
exactly what we're talking about. Let me start it off, and we're all going to jump in and get all over this because, I mean, I'm going to make some comments that I know Mimi is definitely going to want to, whatever. But I'm going to start off by telling it how it is. Now, when I was young, right, we had 2 comedy albums in my house when I was in elementary school. We had the Richard Pryor album, That Nigga's Crazy. Now, if there was going to be a N-word, that's the name of the album. I'll tell you the name of the album, and then it was called That Nigga's Crazy. That's the album you listen to when your parents ain't home and you sneak to listen to it, because Richard Pryor, even back then in the 70s, I mean, that album had more cuss words than you would hear on anything on TV or the movies today. But it was funny as hell. Now, the other album we didn't have to sneak, comedy album we had, was the Bill Cosby album, and it was called What Is Air? And I'll never forget it because my brother Mike and I, we used to listen to it, and we would crack up. And then, years down the line, Bill Cosby went on to make some amazing comedy movies. He teamed up with Sidney Poitier to make Uptown Saturday Night and, a whole bunch of other buddy movies he made. Those movies were really big hits. And, I mean, Bill Cosby, I was a fan. He starred with Robert Culp in a show called I Spy that we watched back in the 70s. And then as time went on down the line, even if you were not a fan or didn't watch it, everybody knows of The Cosby Show where he's America's favorite dad. Now, fast forward to 2014, and just to cut to the chase, 17 women, and that was the count a couple of days ago, it might be even more now, 17 women have claimed that Bill Cosby has sexually assaulted them or some kind of, a sexual impropriety that he has done to these women over the years. Now, the one that I saw an interview about and was talked about was a woman named Janice Dickinson, who is a well-known actress, and her story was that she was in Caesar's Palace. She was young back in 1982. 1982, that's kind of like 32 years ago. 1982, Bill Cosby was in Caesar's Palace performing in Las Vegas. I met him, and she said she was in his hotel room, and he drugged her with a pill, and then she passed out. He got on top of her and did the damn thing, or whatever. Okay, now, let me explain something to y'all. We're going to get back to this, but I'm going to tell y'all how, a little snippet of how things work. In Hollywood, and this has been since the dawn of time, there's a thing in Hollywood which was dubbed as what's called the casting couch. And what the casting couch is, a lot of young starlets or women with stars in their eyes or whatever it is that want parts, they go see producers and executive producers and directors and people with power that can give them these jobs. And the sleazy ones, and I'm going to call them sleazy, will say, well, if you do me this sexual favor, I'll make sure you get a part in this movie or this play or this TV show, or I'm going to launch a singing career or whatever. It's an age-old thing, and that's on the producer side. Producer proposition a young chick or whatever. Now, on the chick side, if you fast forward to today, you got what's called video vixens, and that's the politically correct term. You got video hoes. Video hoes are women that show up for auditions or casting calls, and they don't even have drawers on. They just show up hot and ready because they know how the game goes, they know how to get ahead, and they will give head or do whatever it is they can do to get to the front of the line or get a job. Now, with these women, and I'm coming to a point, with these women, when they do sexual favors, in their mind, they might as well have given you $10,000. Because after they do you this sexual favor, they expect something to happen. They expect the result. They expect the job. Some of them expect a career. Now, I'm saying that to say if 17 women are accusing this man of doing this, 10 of y'all did it, did this, something like that. And see, when it does not happen, if they do these sexual favors, be it prompted by the producer or prompted by themselves, when they do these favors or whatever the case may be, when they don't get the result, then they go and cry rape, or they cry sexual assault, or they cry this or that or whatever, even though it was consensual at the time, they have that kind of power. Now, I'm going to use the word allegedly because we don't know what happened. We wasn't there. He hasn't been tried or convicted of anything. But, I mean, you know, what are y'all thoughts? Because, and my other thing with this is, okay, and then I think Mo was telling me about Raven Simone, and I don't even know all the names. Y'all probably know more of the story. But I want to know, okay, my first problem with the whole thing is, why the hell are y'all all saying something 20, 30 years later if this really did happen?
That's right. Man is almost 80 years old, and he's getting all these assault charges against him, and there's been no convictions, no proof of anything. I mean, they're hearsay at this point. I'm not discrediting them because I don't really know. Like we said, we're just speculating because we don't know. But to have Janice Dickinson, a known alcoholic, a known liar, a known just troublemaker altogether. She was a model for many years and just a known troublemaker. She's just a real pain in the ass. I've seen her on TV. She's just annoying as hell. And then Raven Simone, I mean, the girl was 3 years old on the show. That's just a slap in the face. Just somebody who's just joining the bandwagon and try to milk a man out of all of the money he's got, which he probably don't have much to begin with. I mean, and then when he makes his return to do comedy, he has to cancel all his shows just because people are jumping on this bandwagon like a witch hunt to nail this guy, which, like Oscar said, why wait 30 years later, 20 years later, 50 years later? There was, I think, a woman that said she was assaulted by Dr. Cosby in the late 1960s. Hello? What's wrong with this picture? What the hell is wrong with this picture?
That was 50 years ago.
Hey, my
God.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But on that note, you were talking about him canceling appearances. He's canceled like TV appearances. But he's on a tour right now. I mean, all over the place, and he's not canceled one day. He's not had one promoter call and say they've given away refunds. In fact, all of his shows and the tickets are like $300 a piece.
Yeah, his comedy shows are sold out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so.
But the thing with that is he's not talking about the actual accusations. He's leaving it out. He's not answering anything about it.
I don't believe him.
So if anybody interviews him about that, he won't say a word. He'll shake his head and not say a word.
You know what? At this point, I mean, what can you say other than I didn't do it and leave it at that?
Right.
Right. I mean, and you'll be saying that all day long because it's the same way I felt about the whole Miss Fraser incident. We live in a world where once you're accused, you're guilty until you can prove that you're innocent. So what's the point? That's just the world we live in. I mean, the thing is, what frustrated me so much about that whole situation, and even with the Cosby thing, is people grab a hold of stuff, and they just pass it around. Just, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? Whether it's true or not, they just pass it around, as if it's fact. You know what I mean? Why not just sit on something? Why you feel the need to pass it to this person, and then they pass it to this person, and then they pass it to this person, and then before you know it, a person's whole life and career is destroyed, and the whole issue may be a total farce.
Right. See, the whole problem when it comes down to sexual allegations, out of everything else in the spectrum, like somebody could commit murder and they can get a second chance in society. They can rob a bank with a second chance in society. Michael Vick abused those dogs, and 1 year later he was back playing football, and you never hear nothing of it again. But even when they never prove a sexual allegation, or even when it's found not guilty in a court of law, that's a stigma that stays with people, unfortunately. The only one.
Right. That is like the ultimate crime to be even charged with a sex offense. Because even if you're found not guilty or whatever, somebody in the back of their mind gonna say, well, something must have happened for him to even be charged. No,
right.
not really. Somebody must have told a lie. You know, is it not possible that somebody just made this whole thing up? You know, because see, the thing is, everybody's saying, and I've watched it on TV all day. Everybody's saying, well, there's nothing to gain from these women by this. You know, because the statute of limitation ran out, so he can't go to jail over any of it. You know, and they can't prove it, so they can't sue him. You know, because the statute of limitation on that ran out. Where's the statute of limitation on writing a book? You know what I mean? Right. So anybody with common sense that think that they're a good book publisher will be like, well, let me talk to this person and get her perspective on it and let her write, you know, because it ain't got to be true. You know what I mean? It's because it's her opinion. It's what she feels, you know, and people jump on and buy the book just to hear the story. You can't say that nobody's not going to get rich off of that.
Yeah. Mimi, what you think?
Somebody's going to get rich off of that.
Mimi, you there?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Somebody's going to get rich off of that.
Go ahead.
Well, as far as the Raven Simone thing, she actually has been online. Well, not online. I'm sorry. Has done interviews to cancel out what was put out there about the story about her being sexually assaulted by him.
Right.
Well, how do you
she
cancel it out?
She made a statement. I was not taken advantage of by Mr. Cosby when I was on the show. You know, she was just saying she was, you know, practically a baby, and it's a disgusting rumor. And she was like, I don't want no parts of it. And those were her quotes.
Right.
What do you think of all this, though?
Huh?
What do you think of all this?
I mean, personally, I think it's sad. Like you guys said, he's 77 years old. You know, if anything had happened, why wait till now to come out about whatever? You know, and then the fact of, like you were saying about how the stigma that when you are attached to any kind of sexual assault or anything, that's it. Your character is blemished forever.
Right.
And I personally, I really think it's a sad thing because of the character and the legacy that he had, for his legacy to be tarnished like this. And, you know, I just really wish that he could have gone out on top instead of all of this garbage.
I mean,
well, the thing too is that
like,
even the Cosby Show reruns they've been taken off of TV Land.
Yeah, they canceled
TV Land's all jumping on the witch hunt and decided to take off the reruns, and there's not going to be any more reruns on TV anymore.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous, man.
And then
I grew up
as
watching the
far as
Cosby Show.
The person that, Felix was saying, Janice Dickinson, of all people, that should be the last person that anybody should be quoting about anything.
Right.
She's so crazy and out there, and, I mean,
right.
She's done some of everything, and stuff is always a bunch of lies or something, found out that she, you know, was lying about something or was high or just whatever. It's just, she's just a mess. So,
she said she met him right in Vegas, and he slept at Mickey in his hotel room. What the hell was you doing in his hotel room?
Right.
Right.
Well, it's like Oscar said. You know, you can be, you know, in a situation with Michael Vick or a mass murderer or something like that. You know, you can always come back from that. You know what I mean? But if you look at society and how many people that have like rose to some type of prominence, and when somebody tries to bring them down, it's 9 times out of 10 some kind of sexual allegation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 is some kind of sexual allegation. You know what I mean? We could start naming them. You know, we could start naming them: Tupac, Mike Tyson,
right.
you know, Michael Jackson.
Right.
I mean, we can name them, and it's always some type of, you know, when they're trying to bring somebody down, it's always some type of sexual allegation. You know, they tried to Anthony Anderson like that, you know, a few years back when they was filming that movie over here in Memphis, Tennessee, where that song by 3 6 Mafia, where they won the Emmy Award for it, the Oscar for it.
Yep.
You know, Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always some type of, you know, if you want to bring somebody's career down, you know, it's like the only person that I can think of that it didn't bring down, that it's just a household joke now. You know what I mean? It was Bill Clinton.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's just a household joke now. The president was getting ahead in the Oval Office. You know, I mean.
Yeah, but see, the deal with that situation is nobody never said that he made her do anything or she was forced to do it. The story just came out, and then they rolled with it, and that was a consensual situation. But I mean, they was trying to impeach the man over that situation. Impeach him why? The only person that he needed to answer to any of that to was his wife.
His wife, yeah.
As long as he was running the country the way he was supposed to be running it, who the hell would we care who was giving him head? You understand what I'm saying? And all of a sudden is, and you had Newt Gingrich, give me a history lesson. You had Newt Gingrich leading the charge, then come to find out that he had more holes than Bishop Magic Wine. Prostitutes beat him here, there, and everywhere. But you know what he called it? He called his crookeds a youthful indiscretion. See, they got ways to soften everything up. Go somewhere and sit down. We don't give a damn who Bill Clinton was sleeping with or Obama sleeping with, for that matter. We care about how they govern in the country. He got to answer to Michelle for that. And frankly, I believe Michelle will kick his ass. But for the rest of us, that ain't got nothing to do with his ability to run the country.
Right.
If I cheat on Mimi, it ain't got nothing to do with how I do this radio show. Now, if I can't do the radio show because I got 18 stitches in my lip, then that's everybody concerned. Other than
really? 18 stitches? That's all you think you're going to get away with?
Wow. He's calling you a push up on that one.
Yeah, I'll just throw the number out there. It'll probably be 18. I don't know how many stitches it's going to be. For body cast. Then again, I may not be able to do it.
That sounds better.
And, anyway. So, I mean, it's just the whole thing. Dr. Cosby, I'm on your side. I hope you didn't do none of this. And everybody that did it, y'all should have came out and said something a long time ago. Janice Dickinson, you had no business with your hot ass up in this hotel room. And I don't believe a thing that come out your mouth. So that's where I am with that. That's where I leave it. Now, sex, and more sex. Mo's going to break the story on the radio for us that even I can't believe, and nobody can't get mad because he didn't make the story up. This is on Examiner.com. Mo, what's going on with our distant sister, Sonny?
Hey, man, look, here's the deal, man. The guy that wrote the article for Cassandra about me calls me up yesterday and asked me if I have a phone number, working phone number for Sonny. The guy
who wrote the article on you.
The guy that wrote the article on me, yeah. Wants to know if I got Sonny.
1-800, fuck my, go ahead.
Anyway, Vivid Entertainment wants to do a movie with her. I mean, you know, Vivid Entertainment. Vivid Entertainment.
Get out.
Yikes.
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it got...
Hold on, before you go any further, I told you that yesterday when you told me about this. I said all this girl do is leading to her an adult film career. I told you months ago that she was doing freaky stuff on the Skype. But tell everybody what we're talking about.
Well, I remember. I remember. You know, but you know, I thought she was gonna keep it discreet. She told me about it in November of last year when she came and, you know, done my benefit. I thought that, the Skype thing was just conversations. You know, I didn't know that for $50 you get to see some boobs, and for $100 you get to see more. You know, so but that's just crazy. But you know what? I'm not even gonna bash her on this radio.
No, that's bashing. I'm not bashing. I'm saying that Examiner.com did a story. So I mean, what's the story?
The story is that she's been accepting phone calls through Skype at night. You know, from fans. She started this. Night, daytime, whenever. She started this. She daytime, nighttime, whenever. And she the first time I heard about it, she told me about it in November of last year. You know, and she used to advertise it all over her Facebook page. It wasn't a secret.
Yeah, I saw her because I'm a Facebook friend.
Yeah, so it wasn't a secret. You know, you could Skype with her for X amount of dollars, and there's some other people out there doing the same thing, but it just came out that, you know, she's just offering a little extra for more money than just a phone conversation based on that article. I'm not trying to lend any credibility to that article, because to do that would be to say that I lend credibility to the one he wrote about me, and I can't do that, but I do know that she was, you know, taking phone calls via Skype.
Right.
And she's advertising on a Facebook page. So,
right, I know that for a fact, yeah.
Yeah, so in that article it was saying that she tweeted it, you know, and I don't follow her on Twitter, so I've not seen anything like that. I don't know. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I just know that here recently she's been very quiet. I haven't seen any advertisements when she's been at any shows, you know. So I was just kind of wondering what happened until I saw that article yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, let me ask you guys a question then about Sunny. When she was inducted into the Hall of Fame a few years ago, do you think because of her history and the kind of crazy stuff she's gotten herself into, do you think that would be a reason why WWE chose not to bring her back? I mean, she's not an old woman. I mean, she's in her late 30s, probably early 40s. She still looks good, and she could still be a credit to the ring. But I mean, do you think that would be a reason maybe they chose not to bring her back?
Of course not. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Well,
they're not going to do that. They have a new policy too. They have a new policy too. If you done any type of porn or whatever, if you've done any type of porn, and I forgot when it prior to or whatever, that they won't sign you back to a contract. I think that's another reason why
I could tell you I'm not bashing nobody. I'm telling you the truth of a story and everything else. When I saw her last, and it was recently last November, when I saw her, I could tell you that she hasn't really gotten any better as far as, you know, her self-control and a whole bunch of different things. So she's still got a long way to go when it comes down to some things to get in like a stable position anywhere.
She's not. She wasn't clean. She wasn't even clean then, man.
Right.
Yeah, she had a meltdown at the show.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, she had a meltdown at the show. I mean, I love her to death, but she still needs help, man. I just thought, I think that I just don't think that she's gotten over Chris,
right?
And I think that she's still in a self-destruct type mode, and everybody that she seems to, latch on to, like the darling guy. You know what I mean? All they want to do is use her to try to further themselves and then, abuse her.
Right.
So, I mean, even the cop that she had gotten involved with, he became abusive or whatever. I feel sorry for her, man. I really feel sorry for her.
Nah, it's a thing that now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what we can do to help her, but I'm going to call Talent Relations tomorrow and tell them they need to try to track her down and just ask her if she need anything, because, that's all you really can do, is try to find somebody that can, reach out to her and just make sure she's all right, because...
If you're on her Facebook page, you'd be better off just sending her a message, man.
Oh, for real? Okay, well...
Yeah.
All right.
Do
it
on a personal level. Don't, because sometimes when you're trying to reach out, it's a good thing. But sometimes when you explore that option of trying to get them to reach out for somebody, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. That would be like calling them, telling them, y'all really need to reach out to Cassandra because she needs help.
Oh, okay.
They're liable to hang the phone up on you and never talk to you again.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So on a situation like that, man, just do it personally. Just send them a message and say, hey, we see what's going on. We're concerned. Anything you need some help. See if there's this, you know what I mean? Reach out to her, in that way. But somebody needs to reach out to me too, while we're on this subject, man. Because here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, man. I've been single now for 6 months. You know what I mean? I've been sitting in this bedroom watching The Purge 2 now for like 4 weeks. You know what I mean? And the most disturbing thing in the world happened to me today. I was watching the news, and Charles Manson getting married, dog. How Charles Manson gonna get married, dog?
Yeah, okay. So, So what you need, brother?
Charles Manson, he getting married. How he gonna get a woman I can't get one?
Oh, you want to marry Charles Manson?
No. I don't want to marry Charles Manson. How he gonna get a woman I can't get a woman?
Mimi, you got any love advice for our brother Mo?
Just be patient.
Be patient.
Yeah, you ain't been single that long. Don't get me started on you.
Oh my God! Have y'all seen this chick?
See who?
Have y'all seen the girl that's married Charles Manson?
Yeah, you seen her?
Yeah, I seen her.
Hey guys, I just want to let you know that we have Kenny, who is a representative for the Ugandan giant Kamala, on the line here. He's on hold. I'm about to bring him on.
All right. Hold on, we're gonna get back to this, Mo. We're gonna play. We gonna play it ain't Millionaire Matchmaker, but because you ain't no damn millionaire. Well, we gonna do something.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. You can get any girl you want. You just have to have enough money.
Oh,
well, no.
That's not the type of girl he wants.
No, I can't do it like that.
Right. Kenny, update us. How's our friend James Harris? a.k.a. you got Kamal, you got a John. First of all, what landed him in the hospital and what's going on, bro?
All right, so about 2 weeks ago, I got a text message from him, which is a little unusual. He doesn't text that much, but he said, "Hey, man, getting the rewards together for the Kickstarter." And the rewards, for people who don't know, we set up a Kickstarter to get his book out there. And people, we raised like $17,000. It was pretty good. And, some people get some autographs and some different things, T-shirts and all. So he said, "I'm going to send it out Monday. I'm going to work on it all weekend." And come Monday, I gave him a call, and there was no answer. And then Tuesday, there was no answer. And I'm like, "Geez, I wonder what's wrong," because he usually answers for me. And come Wednesday or Thursday, his wife got on his phone, and she's kind of crying and saying he's back in the hospital. What had happened was he got something called peritonitis, which is a stomach infection. That's it, yeah. And it attacks the lining of your stomach. It's like a bacterial infection or something, some kind of infection.
That's terrible.
And it's a really bad thing to have, especially in his situation with the diabetes and dialysis and all. So things didn't look good for about 2 weeks. It looked pretty bad for him. And then I called one day expecting to talk to his wife, and he answered. And he said, I'm real sick, but I think I'm going to get through this. And I told him, I started reading him some messages off of Facebook, and he had to go into dialysis, and he felt a little better. He said he appreciated all the fans writing into him. Some of them I read off. And last couple of days, they've been telling him they're going to send him home. They think he didn't beat it, but he got over the rough spot. So his blood sugar was really low today, so they kept him. They were thinking about sending him home yesterday or today, and they're still holding on to him. But they think he's going to be okay for a bit. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, you got. Have any of you guys ever had anybody on here the phone ever had appendicitis?
No,
I haven't. No, but I know it's bad, right?
I've had it, but I've also had peritonitis, and that's the kind of pain that it's excruciating, and you have to take a special antibiotic that you yourself has to mix up with a vial of liquid, and there's a vial of powder that you have to mix it up, and you have to take this shot once a day for like 7 days. It takes a long time to clear up, but if you don't catch it in time, it can definitely kill you.
Can you beat it? Like, does it ever go away?
Yeah. They've got an antibiotic. It's called Cipro that'll kill it. The problem with it is that he does home dialysis.
Right.
And so for example, when you do home dialysis, everybody in your house, when you hook up to the machine, has to have a mask on their face, and if somebody don't, and they just breathe out just a small germ, is enough to cause an infection.
Huh.
And then once you get it, you don't know you got it until it's too late. It's not like you have like a bunch of symptoms. You just get the pain,
right?
And once you get the pain, you have to start medicating right then.
Right.
Sometimes it helps, and sometimes it don't. I've ended up in the hospital for like 3 weeks before because of it. It'll kill you. It'll definitely kill you, y'all. They liken it to having a baby. The pain.
Wow.
Yeah, appendicitis is what killed Houdini.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh. Yeah. Houdini had appendicitis, and he ignored it. And when he was doing his most dangerous magic trick called the torture chamber, where he would go do a handstand inside a vat of water and was locked and had to unlock himself and get out the vat, he had his appendix burst right there in the tank, and that's what killed him.
Oh, right. Yeah, I had that happen. My appendix burst in 1990. It was right before I got into business, and they're telling me that infection, because I stayed in the hospital almost a month on a machine. I had a machine in my bladder. A tube going into my bladder, a tube going down into my nose, and it was just filtering out poison. My whole body was poisoned, and they think that was the root cause of my kidney failure. Because any kind of serious infection in your body will cause your organs to fail, and sometimes they don't recover from that.
Yeah, well, you had your appendix burst, and you got delivered from that. And our own Dreamy Mimi, this time last year, she was hospitalized. What happened to you, Dreamy?
I had a brain aneurysm burst.
Right. And the pain of that, the pain of it, and how excruciating, if you can remember, how excruciating was that?
I have a very high tolerance for pain, so it takes quite a bit for me to be put down. So just as an example, I sliced my leg open this was a few years ago, in April, and I never went to the hospital to get stitches or anything. The wound stayed open, and I ended up hospitalized in June for that same wound, and they had to try to close it up and put me on antibiotics through my blood to get the infection out. So anyway, I should have had stitches, and I didn't. I wrapped it up and went back to sleep. With that being said, this pain from the aneurysm was something I have never felt in my life.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you got two examples of God's children. You got Mo has appendix burst, and when that generally happens, that's generally a death sentence. So, yeah, you can just count your blessings of how you was delivered, and an aneurysm bursting, same category. People regard that as a death sentence. There are not a high ratio of people that survive these things, and so, the aftercare and taking care of yourself, is job one with you guys, and these two people mean the world with me, and so I'm glad that they lived through this. They're still in my life and good. But, Kenny, you give Kamala our best because we pulling for him. We want to see him do well. We're not only brothers in the business, but I'm a gigantic Kamala fan. I've watched his matches, and I'm a mark for Kamala, and I love him. And I can't wait to see him at an autograph signing and work with him. And we still expect great things from the Ugandan Giant.
Well, good, man. Thank you guys for plugging the book and everything you guys did. Appreciate it.
When is he coming out?
Yeah.
Probably just before Christmas, I think. We're waiting until he gets back out of the hospital, and he's going to do a bunch of autographs in the book.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, can you say stocking stuffer?
What's that?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Now, when he gets better, is he able to travel? Is he going to travel and do signings?
I hope so. It may be a little bit out, though, because when he flies somewhere, he needs another person with him to fly. And you know how promoters are. They don't want to pay for that.
What other ways can he travel?
Yeah, the problem is most promoters don't want to pay for that extra person that he needs with him to fly.
Right. We got somebody that if they want him to do something, we got a promoter that steps up and goes that extra mile to make things happen. So you give us a call, and we're going to speak to our person and see if they're interested. If they are, they will get Kamala on the same tour we on.
That'd be great, man. Yeah.
I'm almost sure it can happen because I think Kamala on a signing, I think that he will outdo a lot of the ones out there getting big money.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Yeah, let us know.
All right, not a problem.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, the great Kenny Casanova, Kimchi and manager of Kamala Ugandan Giant. Look for the book. Kenny, you still there?
Oh,
he left. Oh, what's the name of the book?
Well, I'm sorry?
What's the name of the
Kamala
book?
Speaks. I'm sorry.
Kamala Speaks. You're going to hear all about his historic match with The Undertaker, his time in the business, him being a truck driver, him having to change in a broom closet. Kamala got a whole bunch of different stories of being an African American in the business back when the business was young. He started out there where you started out. He started out with Jerry Lawler and Jerry Jarrett, Mo.
Yeah, they actually shot his they created his character and shot his jungle video in Lawler's backyard.
Yeah, when he was in the pond and they made the smoke come out the water and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
So,
hey, I got to ask you guys a question, though. I got to ask, this past Monday night after Raw ended, they played a very brief sneak peek into the newest documentary from WWE Films showing and documenting the life and times of the Macho Man Randy Savage. Were you guys able to happen to catch that? And if so, what were your thoughts on just the sneak peek, and have you guys actually seen the actual documentary itself?
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen anything.
My goodness, I would highly recommend it. It is worth watching. It might even bring a tear to your eye because he was just that good.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Now, when does the documentary come on? Because if you can see when I can't, I want you to look and see if the Lex Express video going to be on there because I can use the money.
Well, I know that the DVD is out on sale now. It's expected to be probably without a doubt one of their highest rated or most bought DVD of all time. But the actual sneak peek, it is available online, and I can definitely send you guys a link to watch it if you're interested. I can definitely do that.
Yeah,
it's about 25 minutes, but you get a little taste of what's to come. You get interviews from Lanny and from their mom Judy and a few others, and they just telling a few stories of Randy's career. It actually starts off in the beginning with the news that broke when his death hit. It hit worldwide. People all over the world heard about it, and it actually takes you to where Lanny actually visits the location where the accident occurred, and people putting up a little shrine to Randy, showing their love for him. And it was amazing. It was going to be a very heartfelt and touching story. I definitely think that if you guys knew Randy just as well as anybody else, and I think that it's definitely going to hit home for you guys.
It's the thing the way I'm not going to get into the whole story because I've told it 1,000 times. But it was Macho Man Randy Savage who single-handedly made this whole thing happen for Men on a Mission because he was the person that I ran into in Las Vegas, did the rap for, and that got the ball rolling. And, one of the stories that Mo tell all the time is how we didn't have a lot of help or mentors in the business to smarten us up when we would agree to the green. But I can say, people like Bret Hart and Macho Man, for me personally, he really looked out for me. So, I get bitter sometimes because, they have these documentaries and these videos. They don't approach me or approach Mo to talk about, and we got as many stories to tell about some of these things as some people. So, but anyway, bar that, I'm just saying that for me, myself, I had a special relationship with Macho Man. We had some words when we actually shot the video because he got ticked off because I left him to go eat my Chinese food. But then we got through it. He was struggling with some of the rap. I coached him through it. And then when we got the finished product, it turned out to be something special that you could even see today. It's the Macho Man Raps with Men on a Mission, the Lex Express rap, one of the better projects that I did. And you remember that day, Mo? It was magic in that studio.
Oh yeah. It was incredible, and he was a super nice guy. I mean, the night that I had the incident with Sean, when Brett pulled me to the side, Macho was there that night too. And right after I got through talking to Brett, Macho pulled me to the side, and he said to me, "No matter what happens, brother, don't ever take yourself out of the game." I didn't understand what he was talking about at the time, but as time went on, I realized, that basically what he was saying is no matter how much they push you, no matter what they try to get you to do, stay in the fight, keep working, You know, don't ever just say, you know what, screw this, you know, I'm done. And I did the total opposite of the advice that he gave me, because, like I said earlier, it was probably 3 weeks before Nelson passed away that I had that whole epiphany about Shawn Michaels and realized that issue that he and I had in 95 and 94 was overdone with by the time 95 rolled around. And I done walked away from the business for 18 years, not, you know, even tried to go back because I was bitter about that over the issue that was dead. It was overdone with. You know what I mean? I mean, and I wouldn't even have that epiphany if one day I hadn't been on YouTube and somebody posted a house show video of me and Nelson in the main event at Madison Square Garden against Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels, and I thought to myself, man, this was a year after the fact. If Shawn Michaels still had heat with me, you know what I mean?
He wouldn't work it.
That's what happened.
Right. You know what I mean? And so I was kicking myself in the butt. I mean, this is the reason the guy that wrote the article about me and Cassandra, this is why he and I got heat, because when I came up to do the Hall of Fame thing in New England the last time, Oscar, I stopped by that guy's place and we did the shoot video. I did a shoot video. And in that shoot video, I buried Shawn Michaels. I buried him. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I buried him. And then when I had my epiphany just before Nelson passed away, you know, I called the guy back and said, look, man, I'm willing to give you your money back or whatever. I said, but I don't want that video to go out. And that's what happened. That's why he and I got heat. He got mad because I didn't want that video to go out because, and he's like, well, why don't you want it to go out? I said, well, man, because after what I just witnessed, you know, with this video, I'm wrong about the whole Shawn Michaels thing. You know, and I'm man enough to admit that, you know, here I was holding on to something that, you know, rightfully so. He didn't have no business.
You know what, though, Mo? You actually look at it like this, Mo. With the fact that you were able to realize it, whether it had been 5 minutes after, an hour after, even 18 years after, the fact is you realized what had happened, and you see for yourself that it was wrong to be that angry all those years. Some people hold that bitterness in them for the rest of their lives and go and die unhappy.
Man,
you can at least say that weight is off your chest.
Yeah, because I was mad, man. I stayed mad. It was like whenever Oscar and I talk about WWE today, I say stuff like, man, look, it's been 18, 20 years, and they ain't even brought us back for one single, you know, and I stayed mad about it, but I'm over it now. I mean, it doesn't, you know, it's not a big deal anymore.
Look at it this way.
One thing.
You were cutting side deals in New England. You got paid to do a shoot video. I know nothing about this.
No, that wasn't. No, it wasn't in New England. To make the trip. I don't
want to know. I'm just playing. We got to come to a commercial and come back with the WWE report.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. We'll just go to a commercial break. We're back in just a moment, guys.
I'll just play.
Not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know that dark is right, they do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light.
WWE 2K15. Feel it. Rated T for teen.
I woke up and I had crappy feet. Now I do have happy feet. I woke up, my gout had me yelling and screaming. Got on the phone and called Dr. Freeman. Called Dr. Freeman and I went there, straight to free men foot care. I got an exam, I got my meds, now I don't have to sleep standing on my head. I got my exam and they were enhanced, and now I can walk, run, and even dance. Got my care, 'cause I went there, my feet got fixed, the Freeman foot care.
At the beach, Matt Carlson has the Snickers to keep hunger at bay. Packed with peanuts, Snickers handles hunger, and now Matt is ready for anything. Feeling rejuvenated, Matt decides to catch a monster wave, but steps on an anthill. The ants attack, and he is spotted by the judges of a nearby dance contest, who award him first prize, a trip to Tokyo. While there, Matt attends a popular game show where he defeats one of Japan's top wrestlers. This impresses mystery guest, WWE superstar Ric Flair, who partners with Matt to win the WWE Tag Team title. Eat a Snickers and become a WWE champion. Make it happen with Snickers.
Once again, it's time to take a look back at what we saw on Monday Night Raw. Not Your Mama's Radio Show presents The Raw Report with Dreamy Mimi.
New Intercontinental Champ, this is your WWE report for the week of November 16, 2014. Team Cena and Team Authority have been chosen. Due to injury, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus will not be competing in Survivor Series. But to round out the team, Cena picked up Eric Rowan, and Team Authority has Luke Harper. It'll be interesting to see the results when these two former minions of Bray Wyatt lock horns on Sunday. As for stipulations, Team Authority must step down if they lose, and if Team Cena fails to pull out the victory, they will all be fired. On Raw, Luke Harper dominated Dolph Ziggler in a title match. Our new Intercontinental Champion, Luke Harper. And on Main Event, they had nothing better to do than to have an interspecies matchup with Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. Will someone take over this terrible scripting already? Well, Santino Marella is set to make his comeback at this upcoming Monday night's edition of Raw. He will be introducing special guest Larry the Cable Guy. Will Ryback dethrone the Russian brute Rusev? With his apparent babyface turn, rumor has it he will be put in a series of matches with Rusev. It'll be something to see these two powerhouses go at it. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, will be doing a one-man show and has scheduled dates throughout Europe. His life stories will be tremendous. We here at Not Your Mama's Radio Show continue best wishes to Kamala, the Ugandan giant, still hospitalized with stomach complications. Survivor Series airs Sunday exclusively on the WWE Network.
You forgot to say for only $9.99.
Actually, it's supposed to be free.
Actually, it's free right now.
Oh, it's free, that's right. So the month of November is free, but after that, it's $9.99.
Hey guys, I actually wanted to let you know too. I stay in contact with Lanny and have over the years. I definitely would love to bring him on the show in 2015. To have you guys chat with him and tell him how much you guys appreciated working with Randy. I think Lanny would really get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a tremendous conversation, and I really can't wait to have it.
Hey,
Lanny and I, we've stayed in contact many times over the years.
While we're talking about people, let's send our best wishes and praying for a recovery for Romero. Had some heart issues over the last week or so.
Now, I heard good news that he does not require surgery. So,
right.
That is a real step up. I'm glad to read that.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely you guys getting together and working together and doing your bully thing. I think that would be tremendous. Hopefully that's something to come in 2015.
Yeah, now speaking of that, what I was going to talk to you after the show, Mo, we solidified the contract today. We got our first, the first 6 Boys and Girls Clubs out here in Northwest Indiana. The first appearance is November 12th.
Well, there you go.
November the 12th?
Not November, January 12th, excuse me.
Okay. Okay.
Like that's already passed.
November 12th. November 12th, we kind of missed it. And we want to extend an invitation to you, and we're going to see what we can do to help you in this effort. But Dreamy could see a little bit more about it. We are having a gigantic fundraiser in Boston, Massachusetts in March, and we're inviting all of our key people to come and be a part of this event. It's for our initiative, the One in Equilibrium Project, and we're getting everybody to come out that we possibly can get. So we want to figure out a way to get you out to the East Coast in March.
Did we lose Mo? Or were you talking? Who are you talking to, Mo?
Felix.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Mo. I was like waiting for him to answer. It's like, Mo, they're talking to you, man. What's going on? My bad. My bad. I totally missed that whole thing. I didn't realize you were talking to me. I heard what you said, but I didn't realize it was coming to me.
Mo better bring his side dealing early ass to Boston and March.
Well, considering that around that time, let's see, I know that's going to be the build to WrestleMania. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun things to come in 2015. Hey, we'll see what happens. I'd be more than happy to help out any way I could.
All right, man, we gonna make it right. We gonna have the whole crew in the house for this thing, because this is a big thing we have, and if the whole family ain't a part of it, then it's something wrong. But Dreamy, you're putting this thing together. Preliminarily, what are we looking at, girl?
I didn't hear what you asked.
Oh.
I said preliminarily for our March event. We're the baby steps of it, but what are we looking at?
What are you asking me? What do you mean? Are you asking about the date?
I'm asking about. It's going to be in a fancy hotel. Is it going to be a dinner? Is it going to be, decorated?
Okay, I got it now. I got it. It's gonna be a black tie event. It's gonna be a dinner. There will be a cocktail hour, and we'll have a few speakers. They're gonna talk a little bit about the program itself, as well as some of their experiences and their challenges.
Yeah, so it should be, a really good event. Expecting a really good turnout. We expect to have a huge high-end silent auction, for that event. And speaking of silent auctions, we are still on task and on point with our December 21st wrestling show in Deer Park, Long Island, featuring Rob Van Dam and a host of other people that we're going to have as a fundraiser for our anti-bullying initiative. We're raising money for that. So, we still got, we got an exciting closing out to 2014 and a more exciting 2015. Now, that being said, Jimmy, the next question, and get quiet on this one too. Well, did they just throw this one together?
Didn't we just tell you last week, that the last 6 or 7 months they've just been throwing them together. So that is it across the board now.
Hey, I want to ask whoever wants to answer this question. Who? This is gonna be bad. Who's ready to see that abortion?
Who's ready to see what?
Who's ready to see that abortion?
Abortion?
Yeah. Rusev versus Ryback. That is going to be an abortion.
Well,
that is going to be an abortion. That's going to be the blind leading the one-legged dog.
I can understand where you're saying that too, because at this point, Ryback really is trying to build a following again with his "Feed Me More" crap. But you know what? He to me personally, as a fan viewing him, I feel like he lacks something. Maybe charisma.
He lacks talent.
Talent. Maybe that goes without saying. I'm not going to say that because
he has
better to
no
say
charisma.
that than I could.
You know, he has no charisma, but he has no his work rate is just, man. I mean, if you can't go out and put on a 3-star match with CM Punk, man, you got problems. You know what I mean?
True.
And I watched him and CM Punk in the main event, Hell in the Cell, in Atlanta, Georgia, a few years back, when they gave him that major push, and it was horrible, man.
It was, yeah.
It was pathetic. It was.
They're saying though that when he returned after his injury, that his attitude changed a little bit, and he's got a better attitude about how to do things and putting guys over, or just the overall outlook is different now, supposedly.
Yeah, because before that happened, he was real arrogant and hard to deal with backstage. I mean, so yeah.
Oh yeah, he was hurting guys, man. You know, he was just being reckless. So, and we know what being reckless will get you.
Yeah, we know firsthand what that gets you.
Yes, sir. That'll get you all kinds of heat. Being reckless, hurting people. So, yeah, but yeah, there was a problem. There was a problem with him being reckless. There's one show where he almost broke CM Punk's neck.
Yeah,
he got into a heated something. So, yeah, I think what happened.
From what I've understood,
man,
I think they're trying to get Rusev ready for a run with John Cena. I really believe that. Well, it's because if you remember, they said that they're trying to build up Rusev very similar to how they tried to build up the late great what was his name? Umaga, Eddie Fatu.
Right.
And, God rest his soul, but he was made to be a real bulldozer, as they called him, and that push went almost really nowhere.
So
they wanted to try to create Rusev like that.
Hey, Mimi, does Rusev entertain you in the ring?
No.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he doesn't. I'm tired of the accolade. And I don't know, it's just, it takes quite a bit to impress me.
That's a copy of a move called the old camel clutch that the Iron Sheik used to do.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, anybody seen the video for the New Day?
Yeah.
You know what? Now see, what's up with that?
It looked like some Kurt Franklin stuff with a little bit of James Brown twist thrown into it.
Something. It looked like a mess to me. When I seen Big E jumping around, preaching and stuff, I was like, what is this?
Did you...
It looked like they stereotyping the blacks again.
Exactly.
Have y'all paid
Well, let me ask you guys something, though. Would you have preferred the
music?
Nation of Domination return, or would you prefer something like this? Considering they did the Nation back in the 90s, and then now they're trying to be politically correct, I guess you could say, and try a different way. What would you guys think?
I think they're making fun of the black church.
Again.
Well, that's very evident.
Yeah.
I mean, they did have Reverend Slick. That didn't make the black church look all that good. And I mean, every time they get a brother on there, they always want to portray the white man's view of the black community.
Have you noticed how they sample the Men on a Mission music?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you notice how they sampled the Men on a Mission music?
Who sampled the Men on a Mission music?
The interesting for that whole thing.
The new day thing?
The entrance thing for the new day is the Men on a Mission music?
It's a sample of it, yeah.
Well,
I'll have to listen to that again.
No, wait a minute, no. Felix, you got that track anywhere? What the hell are y'all talking about? It's a sample.
I will have to find it.
It's a sample, bruh.
What the fuck? Really?
Okay, we'll have to bring it on the show next week. I'll see if I can find a sample for it and have it for you on our Thanksgiving show next week.
What? Can they rip anything else off of me? I mean, they were ripping me off for the last 20 years, and I am tired of this shit.
Bruh, somebody called me and told me.
Oh God!
It was Jerry Lawler's kid too.
Right?
Oh damn!
It was Kevin, not Brian. It was Kevin. Kevin called me the other day. He said, man, you noticed WWE sampled y'all's music with this New Day character, right? I was like, no. He's like, go to YouTube and type in New Day.
Oh damn!
Dreamy.
Yep.
Dreamy.
Yes.
They were ripping your husband off for the last 20 years. They were copying our style. They were copying everything. Now they erased the last asshole I got.
Yeah. That's terrible. At least you got a royalty check last month.
OMG. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. And y'all might think I'm playing and joking, but I really am not. That is the ultimate betrayal.
Oh, you're right.
Honey, they were ripping us off. We ain't, I mean, you know, you want to wonder why we living the way we living and we ain't got no, that's because they just and they don't give us no credit. They don't give us no checks. They don't do that, nothing. And I mean, they just constantly, every time I turn around, they are taking something, the last vestige of what I spent years trying to create. You know, building a legacy with Nelson and building a legacy with Bobby and put my intellectual property out there, and they done ripped me off 6 ways from Sunday, and I thought they was finished. I thought there was nothing left for them to take, but they done found, oh, God, that damn cloak and dagger-ass Vince McMahon. I'm sorry. You're going to get a call from me this week. Now, enough is enough. Next thing you know, oh man, next thing you know, they're gonna be wearing gold and purple coming down the aisle. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a choir dressed in a Men on a Mission robe.
They do, man. They do.
They do.
They do.
The choir.
They do got a choir. The dude comes out, they put this blue robe on him like he's James Brown.
Who was that? That was Xavier. Was that Xavier or who was that?
I think that was Xavier.
That's who I thought it was too.
I'm just sick. All right, we're gonna bring the guys in for a quick minute from Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling. They having their event on Saturday. What's Saturday? The 22nd. What month is this? November. They got a whole carnival host of people that they bring it on. Jeremy, what's happening, man?
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, what's going on? A bit of controversy on your end. Facebook said you canceled the event. We was all about to pack up and spend our Saturday roasting marshmallows in the woods. Now it's back on. What's going on, my man?
Basically, what I was told happened is Nick Nitrous, who was supposed to be on the card, created the event, and somebody got into his Facebook account and canceled the event on us. He's no longer coming, but he says, somebody got into his Facebook account somehow and canceled the event. So I had my Facebook blew up the other day with about 50,000 people, all the workers and people who had bought pre-sale tickets and so on, saying, what's going on. So we created a new event, got the word out there, and hopefully people are aware that, the show's still going on.
You said, how come Nick Nitrous ain't coming?
He has a scheduling conflict that he was not able to keep the event.
So Nick Nitrous ain't coming, but Nick Nitrous said somebody broke in his account and canceled the event, but he coincidentally he's not coming?
No, he's not coming, and I take him at his word. He's still looking at coming in on future shows, and, I don't think there's any malintent there or anything. I think it was just, a glitch, something happened, whatever the case may be. But regardless, we've got Nick replaced. We ended up booking Chase Stevens to come in as a replacement for Nick, since Nick wasn't able to come in and do the show.
Now, how many matches you got on the card so far? Because it sounded to me like you got half the wrestlers in Northwest Indiana coming.
That's right. We got about 57 people on the card. No, we've got, I want to say we got 7 or 8 matches.
Okay.
One of them being a battle royal, so we did book extra talent, for that purpose, because we needed extra talent for the battle royal.
Yeah, all right, well, what else can we expect to see?
We can expect we got the battle royal. The last 2 guys are going to face off for the world heavyweight title. We've got Chase Stevens coming in to do a match. We've still got Al Snow coming in, wrestling Nick Cutler. We've got Ryan Howe coming in from Gut Check and Tough Enough. And then we've got a lot of the top talent throughout Indiana, Michigan, and Chicagoland coming in. We just put together a stacked card, for our breakthrough show, and we're just going to go from there. We're going to tear the house down, man.
I read a rumor on Facebook that you're thinking about starting your own podcast.
It's something I'm considering. It's definitely out there down the road.
Okay.
We're gonna try to get a YouTube channel up and going. So we're just looking at other avenues to get the word out about our product and kind of do what we can to get our name out there.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. Now, the other 2 shows you planning, are they going to be more family friendly, or are we all meeting back up at the bar?
The show in December is at the bar. It's going to be December 19th. It's a Friday night on that one. For that show, we've got Cliff Compton booked again. Chase Stevens is booked right now. Tracy Smothers is booked. Madman Pondo, and a few others, plus a lot of local stars. And then the show on the 10th is going to be a family-friendly show in Hammond, Indiana. And on that card, we've got Tracy Smothers, Chase Stevens, and former TNA star Crimson booked so far.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, no, sounds like, you're going to give some of those Northwest Indiana promotions a run for their money.
No, I got you, because they're already trying to shut me down. I got messages today. Somebody's already spreading rumors that I don't have money to pay the boys, so I got guys contacting me, making sure I got money to pay them and whatnot. So, I guess that's the wrestling world, from what I understand, guys. This is the type of stuff that happens.
All right, well, just to make sure, all the best. Be praying everything work out. I'll definitely be here to support you on Saturday. Yeah, make sure the business is straight, because, you got some of us that, will walk away and try to understand, those independent guys that run the gas out their tank to get to the show. Them the ones that are going to want to fight you at the end of the night if you just haven't got to have the money to pay them. So
no, I've got every dime. I got every dime accounted for that I need to pay everybody. That's not an issue. But it's just other promotions trying to sabotage what I'm doing, get guys to cancel, downgrade my show, whatever they can, because I'm competition to them. So it's fine. I'm not worried about it. I think I've got enough going on and a good enough card that it's going to speak for itself.
Okay, well, just make sure my envelope is nice and fat. You know Christmas is right around the corner. I never gave you a dollar.
Mo told me to make sure your envelope is full of chicken. I got it, man.
Yeah, make sure that my envelope is full of respect. That's all I can say. I mean, I put a dollar amount on it, but make sure that my envelope is full of respect.
You got it, my man. You got it.
Oh, my Jesus.
All right, brother. We'll see you Saturday.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
All right, man.
Take care.
Oh, yeah, you like that, man? What? Yeah.
In my Christian walk, I decided that I was gonna, kind of back off of bashing people, and being, ridiculing people and stuff like that. I was gonna try to be a little more positive or whatever, and Lord knows I'm trying, knock on wood. But what the hell are you doing having that guy on the radio show again, Oscar?
Because I'm going down there to Valparaiso on Saturday to see what the hell is going on. I'm going to go see what the hell's going on. So if I'm going down there Saturday, then I'm going to have him on the show because I'm going down there Saturday. And I'm hoping and praying that my envelope that I'm going to receive is full of respect.
Well, if it's not right, our manager's going to be hot. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, my God. And I don't even know if Dreamy coming, but she going to be needing to come to pull me off some bastards.
She going to be hot, buddy. She going to be hot. Somebody called me nowadays, say, hey, can you take, you need to dial this number, buddy. She does all the negotiating. And she ain't.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you now. I mean, like I said, my envelope needs to be respectful. You know what? I changed my mind. Hey, Dreamy.
Yes.
You need to come Saturday because, see, you'll be worse than I am. They hand us an envelope, and then you hand it and stand in the guy's face and be like, you must lost your damn mind. What the hell is this? Okay. What the hell is it supposed to be?
Oh, my goodness.
Now, this the gas money. What pay off?
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, you're dealing with her. It's gonna be a whole lot. It'll be a whole lot worse than dealing with me. So yeah, maybe we need to roll together to Valparaiso because I may not say that because I can remember at the Michael Jackson thing, Mo was hot, but she was hotter. She was ready to pick up a tire and start singing on people.
You know what? The only reason I didn't show out was because of her. Because
she was ready to show out. I had to pull both of y'all back. She was hotter than you was. She was
I didn't want to show my niggerosity. That's why.
She was ready to show that niggerosity too. She was like, okay, I'm finna say something. I'm like,
I didn't want to show my niggerosity. That's all.
I'm like, all right, y'all, say something now. It's not gonna do nothing. Just stop. It's over.
Man, that Mercedes is about to get bashed, dog. I just didn't want to go to jail.
You'll go to jail in Indiana.
Yeah. I just didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah, Mimi, you probably need to come down there to the bar or in Valparaiso on Saturday. Because I got a feeling that some days just ain't going to go right. And
what's that, Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Well, now you know he walks around with a gun, right?
Hey, he can walk around with all the guns he wants to.
I mean, I don't want you to get shot.
You know what? That's the last thing I worried about. Man, look. Anyway, shifting gears. We're gonna we're gonna have all these. We just trying to in all seriousness, we trying to make 2015 a winning year for the team. I mean, it's just real exciting. But you know what, Mo? I want you to tell us about last, what was it, Friday? You ain't tell us nothing about it.
Oh, at the church.
Yeah, Nashville.
Oh man, it was incredible, man. I didn't expect so many people. It was like 125, 150 people there. It was like it was kind of like a big open church. They had it in like a closed room, a little fellowship hall, and they served dinner, and a lot of the people that were there were homeless and some street people, So it was just a blessing to be there, man. Talking to those people, and when you talk to somebody, and and when you look at them and they're looking at you, and they're hanging on every word, and it was like that, man. It was like, and then when it was over with, it was like a standing ovation, and then a big giant group prayer,
right?
Because in the end, I invited everybody to, pick up their cross, just like I was picking up mine, and follow me. That we was gonna serve God, and there was 3 or 4 women over to my right that was crying, and when you see grown men cry,
yeah,
then there's some people out there in the world. There's people hurting, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in this world that's hurting, man, and they want something to believe in, man. And then they see somebody come along that's been down a street that they've been down, or down a path that they've been down, and they see how they've come through it, and it gives them hope. And I think that overall that's what the message was. It gave the people there hope that, no matter what you go through, no matter how hard it is, no matter how dark the situation is, that you can come through it. That God is there, and He'll bring you through it. You just gotta want it. Number one. Number two, you just gotta believe it. Which is something that, I have to thank your wife for this, because, man, a lot of times, man, I be thinking, man, I just want to give up. Then I be thinking of her, and her voice in the back of my head. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. I be wanting to say, I ain't like you. I ain't got faith. I ain't that strong. I ain't that strong. But it's the same way with that whole Michael Jackson thing. When it comes to her, I try my best not to, and this is probably why we get along, is I try my best not to have her see me in real negative light. So I kind of tread lightly when I deal with her, So I enjoyed it, man. I'd like to do a lot more of that stuff.
Okay, now, Dreamy, here goes my question, and you can address to what Mo said. Now, moving forward, when you are addressing these people around the country or in different places, as a minister yourself, what are the issues that need to be tackled the most talking to these groups?
I think the biggest overall message is to just let people know, basically being transparent, letting everybody that you meet and that you come across, especially as a minister, know that you not floating on the cloud and they down there on the ground.
Right.
Do you have issues and challenges that you have gone through and overcome and that you are still going through now, just like they do? And you're going to continue to have them until the day you leave this earth. The difference is your relationship with God, the closer and the stronger it gets, allows you to deal with things differently. So you're encouraging those people to get a closer and stronger relationship as well. No matter how strong and close your relationship is with God, it can always be stronger and closer. And that just helps us to become better and better, and allow Him to be able to use us more.
You know, I had this thought today, Mo, and I'm gonna share it with you, and you're gonna think I'm playing. You did this event, and then I don't know whether you noticed or not, but you got a fan club out there. I mean, you got some guys from a whole other radio show that basically said that Mimi was crap, and that you carried this show, and they just fans of yours, and you know, a whole bunch of different things. I'm beginning to think that. I mean, certainly stay with us, but you probably need to have your own show called The Mo Show. I mean, it needs to be The Mo Show, where you just get on for an hour, 90 minutes. You don't even have to have guests, because you love the sound of your own voice, and you just spend the whole time, no commercials even. You just spend the whole time just talking, and I mean, it could be spiritual-based, it could be stories about your life, whatever you want it to be, but you need to have a podcast in a room where it's just you, because, I mean, I think it'll work. I think it'll be a hit. I produce it. I don't even got to be on the show, because once you get going, ain't no room for nobody else to say nothing. No way. No, just playing. But you ought to have the Mo Show. It ought to be something.
I thank God that that my managers had this conversation with me, you know, a couple of weeks ago about me refraining from talking so much on the radio. So, you know, it's also giving me an opportunity to learn how to be a little bit more peaceful with myself and not overreact, you know, to all this sarcasm that's going on right now. You know,
I'm joking, but I'm not being sarcastic. Follow what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that you and maybe your sister need to think into a podcast that is based on the spirituality and the ministerial side of things. Now, all my kidding aside, but I think that you guys got something to say. I think that you guys got a way to say it, and I think that it will be, you know, a next step. I approached my pastor about doing the same thing, and he didn't want to really step out like that. And I could understand it because he got a lot of things on his plate. But now that you guys have a radio presence and we talk about wrestling and worldly things, maybe it's time to think about you guys producing and actually having a show where you guys, you know, talk about these issues, but you talk about it in this tunnel, in this conduit. This is what I'm saying. And I'm being serious about this.
Okay. Well, my advice to Jeremy Seabolt, when I seen him post on Facebook last night about starting his own podcast, my advice to him was get your promotion off the ground first.
Right.
You're trying to do too many things at one time. Get your promotion off the ground first before you try to do all this other stuff. And so, because I gave him that advice, I'm gonna take my own advice and what you said. I'm gonna take what you said to heart, but we got all this other stuff going on too. So we gotta agree. 100%. We need to solidify, make sure all that stuff is up and going before we branch off and put something else on the plate. I mean, we already got steak and potatoes on the plate. Now you trying to put a whole chicken on it too.
There's no such thing as too much.
That's why I'm glad Mimi's holding the reins and not you.
Well,
because I'm biting my tongue. My tongue is bleeding because of that comment just now.
But there's no such thing as too much.
Yes.
No, don't bite your tongue. Correct me in the public.
No. That's you know, Lord, stand still.
Right.
Peace be still. Peace
Right.
be still.
Mhm.
Peace be still. Hold your steel. Load your steel.
You know what? I'm gonna let y'all have that, because to me that go back to that lollipop back at the park back there in whatever month that was, in July. But I'm gonna let y'all have those moments.
It wasn't a moment. It wasn't a moment. You're the commander in chief, man. We take your direction.
I'm sorry.
We follow your lead.
I just work.
We follow your lead. We follow your lead.
All right. So to recap, you know what? God is really funny, and we getting on the Lord, and we should. I just got a text from my pastor. Mimi, you know there's another women's conference in May. Do you know anything about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you knew?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear about these things. Like May 15th through 17th, the women's conference out here in May. You speaking of that one?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
We just started getting stuff together.
Really go. I'm going to really go in on you. You didn't tell me you speaking of another women's conference. You guys. Anyway, all right. So let's take the next 20 minutes and reiterate. Let's go over our schedule so our fans know where we're going to be. All right. So December 21st, we're all going to be in Deer Park, Long Island, at the Deer Park Rec Center. It's going to be a blowout of the blast. It's the anti-bullying fundraiser that we're going to have in Deer Park, Long Island, New York, with Rob Van Dam, Luke Gallows, Gregory Irons, Sir Mo, whatever you want to call him, Oscar from Men on a Mission, hosted by Dreamy Mimi, bringing out Sir Mo and Oscar that day, and special appearance by the one, the only Rob Van Dam. March 6th, 7th, and 8th, Boston Pro Wrestling presents the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon, which is going to be on the outskirts of Boston. They got over 40, maybe even 60 superstars doing signings. 4 events in 3 days, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Men on a Mission appearing courtesy of Fan for Life Wrestling. June 27th, Providence, Rhode Island, the Providence Civic Center. Mo and Oscar appearing for New England Fan Fest 5, sponsored by Fan for Life Wrestling. Thanking our friends at Fan for Life Wrestling. And in March, the big fundraiser in Newton, Massachusetts. The time and the place will be determined. We'll get back to you on that particular event as well. And that is brought to you by the One at Equilibrium Project. So 2014, 2015 is going to be great. For you kids out there, in the Northwest Indiana area, January 12th, we start our Boys and Girls Club anti-bullying tour of Northwest Indiana. Boys and Girls Club, we'll be speaking about anti-bullying. And in Northwest Indiana, March 13th, we'll be in Roosevelt High School with the anti-bullying program as well. So appearance after appearance after appearance. And February 22nd, you can see us on all kinds of different media outlets, as we will be at the Oscar night, Night of 100 Stars event at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, February 22nd, 2015. So it is going to be a very busy 2015. And the scary part of it is, while Mo and Mimi being punks talk about we don't need to do too much, Mo, because our plate is full, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. Every day at a calendar of 2015, I'm proclaiming it. We're going to have something to do.
Amen.
Yeah.
All righty then. You just let me know where we and I'm there.
Not a problem. Mimi, you got your go bag packed?
Or go bag for.
Just go back for whatever it's time to go. Shoot.
So what is the while we're talking about it, what is the format for the bully event in January at the Boys and Girls Club?
We actually wrote a. You don't have that sheet there with you, Mimi, do you?
No.
But you guys can call me about it later. I'll just trying to get in my mind what we were doing.
All right. We'll certainly keep you informed, there, young man.
Man, hey. So, Felix here?
Yes, sir.
Felix,
I'm still here. What's up?
Tell me about this new network Impact is going on.
It is a part of the Discovery Channel enterprise, but they call it Destination America. And then now they realize, most people are mentioning the fact that they're going to take a very, very big chunk of the audience that they had, which wasn't much to begin with. They're going to lose a good chunk of that audience because not everybody has Destination America. I just checked my network and I have DirecTV. I don't have it. And I'm not going to pay to upgrade it just for one stinking channel.
I've never even heard of it, so.
Right.
You know, and I mean, it's effective January 15th, so I believe the very last show in December, which I can't remember exactly what date it was, they're going to be back for maybe a couple of showings in December, and that ends their relationship with Spike. Spike will no longer have wrestling on their show. They moved to Destination America. And as Austin and I were talking about it on Tuesday, it's not a very wise move, but at the same time it benefits them because they don't have to worry about bouncing from network to network. However, it's going to take a huge chunk out of their audience. People will end up having to resort to watching it on the Internet, if they even do that anymore. I mean, they need a bigger audience. I would have really thought that it would have been on something more visible, but Destination America is not visible on all networks out there, like Time Warner, Dish, DirecTV, Comcast, whatever else you guys have out there in the United States. It's not always that accessible. So those who get to watch it, consider yourself blessed, I guess.
Maybe they're thinking that they will do better pay-per-view business that way.
Well, that could be true too. I mean, I still think it wasn't to me, it doesn't make sense for a company that's only been around for about 12 years to create a Hall of Fame, let alone have a network of their own or a YouTube channel. I mean, but what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan, you know?
Right. Wow. You think that Spike TV is done with wrestling altogether? Or do you think somebody else might can talk them into it?
You know, if the price is right and the ratings are there, it's all about the money. It's all about the greens. If they got the money, I'm sure the Spike will give them the time.
Well, you know, Jarrett sold out the Tokyo Dome, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And to have a guy like Jim Ross return to commentary and the possibility of bringing in Mike Tenay to do it with him, you know, people are going to tune in to watch this show just for the commentary itself, let alone the action that's going to happen.
Right.
Wow. Now,
good old JR coming back.
You guys got rumors of some of the people that are on the card for the Tokyo show?
I know for a fact the Bullet Club is going to be a part of it, which is a new club that involves Luke Gallows, AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, actually. A few other guys. I'm not familiar with their names, but it'll be available. I'm sure there's going to be a way to watch it online somehow. Pay-per-view, I'm sure it's going to be an iPay-per-view possibly. But kudos to Jeff Jarrett. I mean, hey, what a bigger way to start than to bring in one of the greatest announcers of all time, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, that's very huge. I mean, that's very huge for him.
Yeah, the venue itself is a huge thing, you know, and to be broadcasting it from Japan.
Yeah.
Right.
Even, you know, so I mean, you know, he just what he did, in my opinion, is he used the same business model he used to build TNA. Only, you know, he's smart enough to know to go a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning they did the weekly TNA $9.99 pay-per-view.
Yep, I remember that.
So, I mean, he's been on this whirlwind promotional thing, you know, for over a year now. You know, so it's like everybody's anxiously waiting to see, you know, the first inception of, you know, Global Force Wrestling, and the first inception includes a lot of the top Japanese superstars too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is
Jarrett has he comes from a lineage of great promoters, from his grandmother to his father to even, you know, himself. He came into this and he built TNA, him and his father, and with the backing of course, the Carter family and Panda Energy. They had that was your financial part, but I mean the mindset of it all came from the Jarretts. Jarrett and Jeff.
Right.
Jeff, he knows how to build a company up. It may take him a while, but he's going about it the smart way. I really believe when he's ready to do this, he's going to unveil something, and people, I don't know if they'll be ready for it. Could this be a competition for WWE? I don't want to jump to that conclusion just yet. But until that happens, I would love to see more alternative wrestling out there for people to watch, because, you know, WWE is not the be-all, end-all. People have options to watch other things. You know?
Right.
Well, it's going to take a while before they can even scratch that surface. But with the way WWE is declining, and with the people are hungry for real, you know, grassroots, down-home wrestling, or as Ted Turner used to say, wrestling, and if you got somebody that can bring it to that, then yeah, they really could be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm hoping.
Well, you know, let me ask you guys something. As being a part of the wrestling business, as you guys have been, and Oscar and Mo, you guys, I mean, Mo, you definitely were around towards the beginning part of this era, but going back to the early starts of the Attitude Era, you've seen, I mean, even through the whole years, 97 to 2001, people were clawing, scratching, and would cut your mother's throat just to take your spot. There was everybody wanted to further fight for that number one spot. It was just that hunger for that spot. Now, you don't see that same kind of energy to want to scratch and claw to be number one. No, everybody's just content being on TV.
Right.
Now, what is up with that? I mean, honestly, they're not building new stars. They're relying too much on their older stars, their established stars, the ones that bring in the people, rather than build newer stars. I mean, they're starting to little by little. I mean, with the idea of Seth Rollins and a Dean Ambrose and a Roman Reigns, I mean, they're getting there. They're just not there yet, and they could have been there a few years ago. They just chose not to do that. Now, you would think that they would consider building stars, but they're not doing that.
One of the biggest differences is back in the Generation era and the Attitude era, your climb was more attainable back then. It was a thing where anything could happen and anybody give in Vince's ear or make the right moves or anything like that, they can climb to a position. It happened overnight for a lot of people. The difference is today, the top spots are cemented. It's not designed where people can move up like they used to back in the day. You got your pecking order. You got Cena, you got Orton, you got this one, you got that one. They're there and they're pretty much to stay, and everybody knows that and know their role. But years ago, when Vince was a one-man, running the show, and, you know, things were a lot more flexible back then as far as that go, that's the big difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could walk into the dressing room while somebody's basically in the ring and bury them, and then they be out of a spot. You know, you can't do that now. You can't just go knock on Vince McMahon's door. You can't even just pick up the phone and call them and talk to them. You know, you don't have that accessibility. You know, so that model has changed. I think that. I'm with Felix. I think that you know, there's plenty of room, and you can tell that Vince's business has declined, because if you look around the country, like this past weekend, if you look around the country, I don't know what they're doing on the West Coast, but if you look around the country on the East Coast this past weekend, I mean, I'm talking, I know at least a dozen or more shows where they had, 1,000, 1,200, 2,000 people, those kinds of crowds, because people want to see wrestling. They don't want to see all that, I mean, we're talking about some sold out independent shows, man, especially this past weekend.
Well, I can actually even quote you and tell you, too, that Luke Hawx and his Wildcat Wrestling company out there in New Orleans and Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, those two they're bringing in some big numbers. They're doing some good things, and they're even doing a crossover promotional war against each other, and that's bringing people in. People want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an example there. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I mean that's
no. You're right.
I've been hearing great things about it.
NWA Houston drawing minimum 800-900. NWA Main Event down there around Texas down there drawing 800-900. I mean, up in the Northeast they're drawing big numbers. Omega, Mad Jeff Hardy's promotion over in North Carolina, they ain't drawing less than 1,200 people a show. I mean, so there's people doing some big numbers out there right now, And what's the name of that tag team? The Young Brother tag team. Are
you talking about the Young Bucks?
Yeah, them boys have been selling out some houses, man. Them boys been selling out some houses, man. They sold out some houses. They even sold out some houses in Japan. They sold out several houses up north. The Young Bucks against the Hardy Boys.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about thousands of tickets at $20, $25, and $30 a head. There's some money out there.
Now I don't know if what the territory days were like. I wasn't old enough. I was very young when they were still around and going out. But just judging by what we were just saying now, all the different areas that are bringing in really good amounts of money and people that want to see the matches and the wrestling. Let's just put it that way. Less talk and more wrestling. You know, it gives me the feeling that to a certain extent we have the territory days now with us, just to a point.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously back then it wasn't. It was more hot and more better, I'm sure. But I mean, you get that now with a little bit when they leave WWE or TNA. These big name guys go over to these different promotions and they bring in a good amount of crowd, and I don't know. You get that feeling of the territory days.
Here's the only problem with it. They're going to kill it because those very same guys that leave Vince McMahon, right, or TNA, when they come out here to the independent scene, their fees are way above what they were getting paid for Vince McMahon.
True.
On a nightly basis. You got guys. We know how the pay worked over there. Just like Trevor Murdoch said, his lower end pay was like $75,000 a year. That was his minimum. So you figure $75,000 a year minimum, probably about a little over $5,000 a month. And they're working 20 days a month.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're working about 20 days a month, $5,000 a month. That's less than $1,000 a day. That's probably less. That's actually less than $500 a day.
That's right. $1,300 a week.
Right.
And you make that on a regular job somewhere.
And these guys come out here and try to get that nightly.
Yep.
And some of the promoters are paying that, which all that does, man, is it doesn't allow for a lot of growth for these companies. It's like you draw a big house, but you draw this big house, just to make enough money to cover the cost of the talent for that night. And maybe have a little bit of money to put in your next show, but not draw a big house to where you can put back money to really build this company up. You know what I mean? You know, and so that's what I say. That's why I say guys need to look at it in a situation. They need to look at it like this. Instead of me trying to charge you X number of dollars per night and get one night, you know, maybe I need to reduce my fee and we get multiple nights. You know, I mean, going to work somewhere 10 times for $300 a night is $3,000 as opposed to going to work for somebody one time for $1,000 a night. You only get that one shot. You know, so I mean, they just, you know, guys just need to realize that, okay, when you come off of that contract, you ain't going to work for somebody that's got no money Vince McMahon got. You know, so you have to adjust your lifestyle. You know, if you didn't make provisions for that before you lost that job or whatever, that's your fault. It's not, you know, somebody outside of that to make that up. You know what I mean?
Well, let me pose a question to the three of you guys. And what would your opinion be? Let's just say tomorrow, one of you guys win the lottery and win $100 billion. And well, first of all, woohoo! And second of all, would you invest your money and your time into backing one of the wrestling companies and help them get to where they need to be? Because there are a lot of companies out there that could use the help, but I mean, it just needs to be the right amount of backing. Would you guys look into doing something like that?
I would. If I was going to invest money in wrestling, I'd invest it in my own thing, not nobody else's. You know, just because. I'll use Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling as an example. You know, we were approached months ago about helping these guys start a company, right?
Yep.
And we agreed to help them. And I told the guy in the beginning, I said, man, when you have your first show, don't load it up with names. You know, because that's called hot shot booking. Now, as you heard him say, who he's got on the card, you know, this weekend, and then who he's got on the card the weeks following that. The problem with that is, you start out that way. Now you got to keep up that pace.
That's true.
You see what I mean? Whereas if you start out small with mostly local guys, and you build those guys up, and you build a crowd behind those guys, and then you sprinkle in a name or two every so often, you know what I mean? Then you have a good, solid foundation. When you go in there and it's like having $20,000, Phillips. And say, okay, I got $20,000 I can just throw away. And so I'm going to get Kevin Nash, I'm going to get X-Pac, and I'm going to get Scott Hall. And you put all those people on the show, and you make just enough money from ticket sales to cover the cost of all those people. You didn't make a dime on your $20,000 investment. You know what I mean? If you invest $20,000 in something, you should at least get a quarterback off of it.
That's true.
Minimum 10% back. Minimum 10% investment. That's what investment is about. Is getting a gain, correct? So minimum is like putting money in the bank. You want to get dividends on your deposit. Same way with investing. You know, and that's why I think that if I was going to invest in something, it would be my own thing, man. That way I got total control. I don't have to answer to nobody. You know.
Okay.
When you have to answer to somebody like a Jeremy Seabold or a Nick Nitrous or because you really don't know what their credentials are in the business. You know.
That's true.
You don't know if they learned wrestling by reading magazines or, or if they learned it all from watching it on YouTube. I don't know.
Let me give you my take on it real fast.
Go for it.
The fastest 2 hours of radio are up again, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I do want to make one quick announcement real quick before you do that. We actually, next week, we won't actually be broadcasting on Thursday night due to the fact that next week is Thanksgiving, a week from tonight.
Thanksgiving.
We are looking to actually broadcast, if everybody's still on board with that, to come on this Monday night. Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's it. The fastest 2 hours of radio is up. It's our pre-Thanksgiving show. Our Thanksgiving show is going to be Monday. Everybody have a good night.
Good night,
y'all. Guys.
Good night.
He's guaranteed to ring your bell.